Glenn, you're been retired now a couple of years. As far as cricket goes, what are you up to at the moment?
Not a great deal. I'm very happily retired, which means there's no desire to be back playing, which I guess means I retired at the right time. I think the last proper game I had was 12 months ago. Had a bit of a roll the arm over in Indonesia, of all places, about 6 months ago, if that, with judges here. Robin Smith was there as well. So the only cricket I play these days is probably more to do with charity matches. I'd rather go on a Saturday morning and watch my son James play. James he's 10 going on 11 now. He's been playing for the last 4 years, or this is his 4th season. And last year he actually won a bowling award for his district. He got the most wickets in the Sutherland Shire for under 10s, which was pretty good.
Is he a medium pacer? What's the story there?
Yeah, he bowls seam up. He did bowl a little bit of leg spin, but I told him that not to worry about that rubbish. Just keep hitting it back.
He's got to be a hard worker. He's got to be coming in off 30 yards.
But the funny...
I'll just say, there's James opening the bowling for the under 10s in that region. You know who the number 4 batsman in that team is?
No, he also well, they bat all over the place, but who you're talking about got the bowling aggregate award, best average for the season, and his name is Austin Waugh. So Steve Waugh's son. And I must say, when you walk in a cricket on a Saturday morning, you get some very interesting looks from the parents of the other team. And the coach of our team, the under 10s, he's never coached before in his life. And Stephen and I go and sit beside him or just behind him. And I think he feels a little bit of pressure. I don't know why, but they went through the season undefeated, and at that age, it's all about getting out there, playing and having fun, and they definitely had fun.
Glenn, I don't want to be too serious because it's fun time, but the team there today, they made a great donation as far as the foundation's concerned, which is great. Shows that not only they're Wollongong, and geez, how fanatical are they? We're doing the lunch this afternoon and, do the normal thing and show the video and interview, and next thing you know, the whole 30 crew stand up and 3 cheers for Mr. Gilchrist. And, mate, it must be a credit to just the passion that the Indians have for their cricket.
Yeah, they do. Anyone that's been to India knows the passion that they have, how keen they are for it. We go on our trips with the university. I said, I think last year, where we'd walk into a press conference or a room with Gerard when we first went over, Vice-Chancellor, would walk in there and everyone would be up cheering and applauding and everything, and Gerard was wondering why this doesn't happen back at the university for him. And but they really do. They are amazing. How the intensity is there, but it's great. It really is something that's a common bond between Australia and India, and to show their generosity knows no bounds in regards to this group today. Emphasis, the people that we formed this relationship with, and they contributed extremely well to the McGrath Foundation today, I believe.
Gilly's given us a fair few stories about his travels overseas and with the team. Glenn, some of yours?
I think that was one thing that I feel very, very privileged. In the last, I guess 20 years, I've been very lucky to not only play in such a great year of Australian cricket, but also get to travel around the world too. Like Gilly mentioned, you go to India, it's such a contrast to what we have here in Australia, and the passion and the love they have for the game of cricket over there. At least here in Australia, you can still be normal people, just walk around the streets. Over in India, there's no such thing. I don't know if anyone saw Gilly's ads, the Castrol ads, where he's in India and the people are just chasing him everywhere. Apparently, they didn't have to hire those people. You just go to India, and that's exactly what happened. So, it is, I do feel myself very lucky to have played in an era of Australian cricket that firstly was so strong, but we got to see some incredible places and meet some pretty amazing people too.
Talking about people, Gilly, last year we talked about the usuals, Warnie and Big Merv and what have you. Some of the characters that stick out to you, and tell us something that we might, only between us and 450 people here.
Oh, there's always plenty of stories, but it's always hard to go past Warnie. Warnie's, for what he's done for cricket, he's such an incredible player. I get on well with Warnie. I talk to him probably more now than I used to. There's always, he sends messages through all the time. But it's, he's such an incredible player and competitor on the field. He got himself in a bit of trouble off the field occasionally, but just to explain it, he'd love to exaggerate. He absolutely loves to exaggerate. If you're telling a story and the number's too high, then he makes it sound better. If it's too low, just to make it sound better. And it was funny, we're in Antigua in 1999, and it was a tour game, and Warney wasn't playing, and he came in to the dressing room, and of all things, he was going on about how many pairs of socks he's lost in the washing. He's come in, he's gone, can you believe they've stolen my socks? I came away with 50 pairs of socks. Who has 50 pairs of socks to start with? And he's in there, he's going on and on about how many they've stolen. And finally he goes outside for a cigarette because he's a supreme athlete. And then Ian Heels jumps up and goes, and he had what he called the Warn theory. And he said, okay, let's work this out. Oh, actually, before Warney went, he said, all I've got left is 12 pairs. They've stolen 38 pairs of socks. And then Heels jumps up and he goes, I've worked out Warney. This is what I call the Warn theory. He said, whatever he starts with, you halve. Whatever he ends up with, you double. And he goes, he started with 50 pairs of socks. Halve that, you got 25. He's left with 12, double that, that's 24. He's lost one pair of socks, but only Warney can turn that into 38. So that's a little bit of what Warney's like.
You talked about meeting together. A couple of days ago, Adam Gilchrist inducted into the Bradman Hall of Fame. Congratulations. A lot of pretty special people in that.
Yeah, that was unique, unexpected, but that was a nice night on Wednesday night. That was Sunil Gavaskar was an honoree as well that night. So, the name Dennis Lilly is in there, Neil Harvey, Norm O'Neill, and Richie Beno was the gentleman, or sort of the MC for that induction ceremony. So that was quite a thrill. Just listening to Richie was most entertaining.
Well, let's go off track just a little bit, and we'll just finish it this way. And a lot of us probably don't get an opportunity to probably sit under this sort of an environment with people like yourselves. And sport in Australia these days seems to be bad news every time you turn and look at the paper. The culture that you say, Glenn, coming here to Wollongong and the way you've held yourself tonight, the cricketers, obviously the culture there is important, and the way that you present yourself to the community is something you're proud of? Oh.
Yeah, it's something very proud of. I think the good thing with the cricketers, and probably a lot of sportsmen in Australia, is that we just view ourselves as normal people. I grew up in a small country town of 3,000 people, and I don't think I'm, what I did, I love what I did. I might have been okay at what I did, but then other people in this room are very good at what they do. So at the end of the day, I'm no different to anyone else here, and that's the way I've always, I guess, whether it's been brought up in the bush, whether it's instilled those sort of morals or whatever you want to call them, but that's the way I've always been, and that's why I sort of lived my life. And Gilly's exactly the same, and a lot of the other boys in the team were the same. So I think not getting too arrogant. A lot of times we were called arrogant, or I just look at that as self-confidence and part of the whole media thing. But at the end of the day, we're out there, we're doing our best, and we're just normal people. And I think that really comes across.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. What Pitch says is we never really think that what you're doing is any more exceptional than anyone else. And you've only got to listen to Don and the crew here, and what we heard tonight and what we saw. That's serious stuff. That's what it's, the whole community. That's what changing lives. I mean, we can had the good fortune of being able to impact and create a bit of joy and happiness, and it's nothing more fulfilling than people coming up saying that. Thanks so much, that was so entertaining or amazing. And all of us that have had the international cricketers, and we've had surfers, we've had rock star. I mean, we'd all wanted to be Timmy Farris for a night, haven't we, to get up there and do that. But and Mark and you know that. So we've had everything. To be out there doing what you do and make an impression and be complimented on it is wonderful in an entertainment sort of stratosphere. But to change lives like the guys here are doing, and what everyone's contributing towards tonight is that's the serious stuff. About being in public, I've got a little bit of trepidation. I reckon I did mention this last year, but I'm sick and tired of it. It happened again yesterday morning. And the original time happened.
I was going to bring this up.
Yeah, well, I'm sick
And the
of it.
fact that we're sitting there on screen, it's a good time
And
for
I'm much
the
better looking
audience
than
to actually judge it.
In the airport lounge, gentleman comes up to me, staring at me. I keep turning away because I am starting to be a bit arrogant. I'm tired. I don't want to talk to him. I move. He keeps moving with me, looking until finally he gets the confidence up. Comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder. I turn around. He says to me, "Excuse me, are you Glenn McGrath?" To which I did exactly the same. I start laughing, thinking, "Oh, what an idiot!" Not him, like the bloke. Me. I'm so arrogant, and everyone knows who I am. And I looked at him, I said, "No," and thinking he'd then realised the little mix-up he's had of two teammates, and he goes, "Oh shit," and walked away.
I must say that I can relate very much with Gilly there. I never get confused with anyone else but Gilly. People come up and go, "I know you, don't I?" And they don't really follow cricket. That, "Oh, you're that cricket. You're Adam Gilchrist." I go, "No," and they turn off and they walk away. So, but it's interesting. I thought now that we're sitting here, we're up on the big screen. We don't look that much alike, do we? Sorry.
I got the shits because I could do this all night, and it's an absolute pleasure to have the two of you sitting here. It's something very, very special for this town. I can't remember it happened, and for a long time to have people of not only the ability, the sporting ability, but the character and the way you're representing things. Gilly, you're going nowhere. You're we now. Us, we, Gilly, UOW, the world. Glenn, mate, welcome back whenever you'd like to. Next year, whenever. You're always welcome here, and we appreciate what you've done for us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, two absolute champions, Glenn McGrath and Adam Gilchrist.
Thank you.